All right, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Judge Jackie Powell. This is first appearance court, and in a few moments, I'm going to let you know if I've determined probable cause, and then we will also talk about release conditions. Like I said this morning, and I say every day, everything in this courtroom is being recorded and can be used against you at a later time. So I encourage you to speak with your attorney before speaking on the record. No worries. Okay, and so I am going to start this afternoon with Crystal Neal.
She's here, Main Judge.
All right, Miss Neal, you're before the court because you have two traffic cases. These are operating without a valid license, unlawful tag. And so I don't know what what do you want to do today with these
Judge,
charges?
Ms. Neal earlier, she wishes to resolve this matter today.
Withholding court cost, Judge.
All right.
She wishes to accept the state's offer, Judge.
All right, ma'am, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
Okay, you can put your hand down. And do you understand the offer that has been extended to you to resolve your case?
So I have to go today?
No. The court cost, she'll give you 6 months of it.
Oh, yes. Yes, I understand.
Okay, all right. And do you need any more time to speak with your attorney?
No.
And are you under the influence of drugs or alcohol?
No.
Do you understand you have the right to go to trial, but by taking a plea today, you are giving up that right?
Yes.
Have you ever been treated for mental or emotional illness?
No.
And do you understand that if you are not a U.S. citizen, that by taking a plea today, it could subject you to deportation or immigration changes?
Yes.
All right, what plea do you wish to enter at this time?
No contest.
All right, I accept your no contest plea. I find that it's freely and voluntarily given. It was withheld and court costs on both. And I'll give you 6 months to pay the court costs, okay? All right, Maxon Teresias.
Mr. Teresias, come on up, please.
He what? All right, Mr. Teresias, you are before the court on a municipal ordinance violation. I find probable cause, and I'm told that your bond has been posted. So good luck, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, Ephraim Cruz.
Mr. Cruz, is here present, Judge?
All right, Mr. Cruz is before the court. Charge 1 is DUI, alcohol or drugs. Number 2 is DUI with a breath level greater than .15. Number 3 is possession of an open container. That's not for magistrate. I find probable cause.
Judge, at this time, nothing to add for Mr. Cruz. His girlfriend will be placing his monetary bond.
The bondsman advised me to be posting.
Oh, okay. All right, so the standard bonds are in place. Good luck, sir. And then John Rolka.
Mr. Roca, come on up, please.
All right, Mr. Rolka is before the court. Charge 1 is DUI, alcohol or drugs. Number 2 is DUI with a breath level greater than .15. Number 3 is DUI with damage to property. And I find probable cause.
Judge, nothing to add from the defense. Mr. Roca will be self-binding.
All right. Okay, the standard bonds are in place. Ernest Gaidon.
Mr. Gaidon, come on up, please. Please approach the judge.
All right, Mr. Gaidon, you're before the court on a misdemeanor capias. You did not show up for arraignment on June 26th on a charge of possession of drug paraphernalia. Did you hear all of that, sir? Mr. Guidon, can you hear me?
Yes.
So you're before the court on a misdemeanor KPS for not appearing in court when you're supposed to?
Okay.
And so, that charge was possession of drug paraphernalia.
Okay.
All right. So, what do you want to resolve your case today?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have a driver's license?
No, ma'am.
All right. All right. So, your sentence will be adjudication and time served if you wish to resolve the case.
I can't, my hearing is bad though.
All right. So you'll be sentenced to you'll be adjudicated and get
Okay,
time
ma'am.
served. Do you wish to accept that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
Okay, you can put your hand down. And you can put your hand down. And is anyone forcing you to resolve your case?
No, ma'am.
And do you need any more time to speak with an attorney?
No, ma'am.
And you understand you have the right to go to trial, but by taking a plea, you're giving up that right?
Yeah.
Have you ever been treated for mental or emotional illness?
No, ma'am.
And do you understand, sir, that if you are not a U.S. citizen, that by taking a plea today, it could subject you to deportation or immigration changes? What plea do you wish to enter? Guilty or no contest?
No contest.
All right, I accept your no contest plea. I find that is freely and voluntarily given, and your sentence is adjudication and time served, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Damon Perota,
Mr. Perota, come on up, please. He's approaching Judge Yarmain.
all right, Mr. Perota is before the court. Charge 1 is resisting without violence. Number 2 is possession of cannabis, 20 grams or less, and I find probable cause.
Judge, it's being Mr. Perota. He's 18 years old, been here his whole entire life. He's working. He lives here locally with his grandmother. Based on the charges, they're misdemeanor offenses, and $100. I'm going to be asking for the state to see if they have objection with having Mr. Perota release straight ROR. If they do, and of course not inclined, then we'll ask. I'm going to be calling his grandmother to post his $100 bond.
I don't have an
Okay.
objection to an ROR, Judge.
I'm sorry?
I don't have an objection. He doesn't have a record from what I can tell.
Okay. All right, so ROR Mr. Perota at this time. Sir, you need to make sure you stay in touch with your attorney, okay? Jovan Anderson.
Mr. Anderson, come on up, please. He's approaching.
Oh, these
Yeah.
gentlemen were here this morning.
Yes, this is just add charges on a burglary conveyance in addition to the burg dwelling.
All right, so, I was reading okay. So, Mr. Anderson, you've been brought back because there is now an additional burglary charge, and, I find probable cause. And-
Judge, as you remember, you set a $26,000 bond this morning. He's in no position to post that, so this is a add charge third-degree felony. We're going to be requesting a $1,000 bond on his behalf.
All right, so I'll add $1,000 on, number 3.
Your Honor, I just asked, you also placed both Mr. Anderson and Mr. Brinson on GPS monitor this morning. I
Oh, it's the
just-
same conditions, right? The same monetary conditions with the GPS. All right, and then now Patrick Brinson.
Mr. Brinson? Come on up, Mr. Brinson. He's approaching, Judge. Judge, same request by the defense.
All right, so Mr. Brinson, in addition to what was before the court this morning, now you have an additional charge of burglary on occupied conveyance.
So happy.
All right, and I find probable cause. And so at this time, I'll add $1,000 and the same, other conditions, level 2 pretrial, right? Okay. All right, sir. And then Jose Urquila,
Good
He's here,
afternoon,
but he's
Judge.
gonna require Spanish interpreter.
This interpreter is present, Your Honor, and we're going to waive formal reading of the charges this afternoon.
Renunciaremos a la lectura formal de los cargos esta tarde.
all right, can you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm to translate from Spanish to English and English to Spanish?
I do, Your Honor.
Thank you, and what's your name?
Martin Vidal, PIDAUD, Court Interpreters.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Urquilla, you are before the court today. I find probable cause for the 2 charges presented.
Thank
Señor
you.
Urquillo, usted está frente al tribunal esta tarde. Fallo de que hubo motivo fundado para los 2 cargos que se le han entablado.
And I will hear from the parties as to release conditions.
Y ahora iré por parte de las partes en cuanto a las condiciones de liberación.
Your Honor, the state is seeking a no bond hold on each count upon a finding of proof evident or presumption great.
Señoría, la Fiscalía está pidiendo de que se le retenga sin fianza una vez que se haga un fallo de tener pruebas evidentes o presunción cuantiosa o grande.
Relying upon the specific detailed information the victim provided law enforcement during her forensic interview.
Me afinco en la información detallosa que la víctima le dio a los oficiales del orden público durante la entrevista que se le hizo forense.
Also noting specific days of the week that this would occur.
También tomando nota de los días específicos de la semana en los cuales sucedía esto.
Noting that at least one of these days would coincide when with the victim would be home alone with her stepfather, according to information provided by her mother.
Y notando que varios de estos días concordaban con días en los cuales, según la madre, la víctima estaría sola con el padrastro en casa.
The state would also be relying upon physical evidence that was obtained during a medical exam in support of the victim's allegations.
Y la Fiscalía también se afinca en la información que surge de una examinación física, médica, que conlleva pruebas físicas.
Nothing further.
Judge,
Sin añadir más.
good afternoon. We would be objecting to the finding, but anticipating the court's ruling, we're going to save argument for division.
Su señoría, nosotros prestamos objeción a ese tipo de fallo. Sin embargo, anticipando esa decisión por parte del tribunal, vamos a esperar hasta tal momento de que se le haga la audiencia en su división en la sala de lo penal para hacer nuestro argumento.
All right, based on the probable cause affidavit that I've reviewed today,
De acuerdo, basado en la declaración juramentada de los hechos que yo he repasado hoy
and the alleged age of the alleged victim,
y la supuesta edad de la supuesta víctima,
I find probable cause,
fallo que hay motivo fundado.
and I further make a preliminary finding
Y además hago un fallo preliminar
of proof evident presumption great.
de pruebas evidentes y gran presunción.
This is without prejudice
Esto es sin prejuicio.
for Mr. Aquila to have a bond hearing before his division judge.
Eso es sin prejuicio de que el señor Urquila tenga una audiencia de la fianza frente al juez de su sala de lo penal.
And Mr. Aquila will be held no bond on these 2 charges.
Y por esos 2 cargos el señor Urquila será retenido sin fianza.
And I am also going to just impose a no victim contact
También voy a aplicar una prohibición en contra del contacto con la víctima
and no contact with any minors.
y ningún contacto con ningún menor.
Please.
Okay.
De acuerdo.
Is there anyone else who needs a Spanish interpreter?
Not here, our main judge.
All right, and hearing nothing, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Danaris Thomas,
Here, Judge of Maine approaching. Come on up, sir.
All right, Mr. Thomas, you're before the court for 3 counts of burglary, unoccupied conveyance, unarmed. I find probable cause. And, does Mr. Thomas have priors?
He does, Your Honor. I'm showing just burglary-related offenses. 2014 burglary of a dwelling, 2014 burglary of a dwelling, 2014 burglary of a dwelling, another burglary dwelling, 2014, burglary of a structure, 2015, and he's got four prior, four prior grand thefts. It looks like actually, right now, he is on juvenile probation.
Okay.
Judge, he's 18 years old. He just turned 18 a couple months ago. My understanding, Judge, is right now he's working his way. He looked into, inquired with a program called with Andrews High School as far as obtaining his GED. I believe that program starts in the second week of September, so that's what he intends on doing, is obtaining his GED. Now, he lives here locally with his mother. His mother rents, does not own, in Lauderdale, North Lauderdale, an apartment. She works at the 7-Up warehouse. She's the one that's going to be posting his monetary bond, I believe. She already knows he's here. She is waiting on the court to set a bond. Mr. Thomas is hoping, based on his conversation with his mother, that hopefully if the court imposes $1,000 bond on each count, she would be in a position to post his monetary bond. And that's why we are requesting $1,000 on each count on Mr. Thomas's behalf.
All right, I'll grant $1,000 on each count. Okay. Anthony Cooper,
Mr. Cooper, come on up, please.
Judge, I do have a PC objection as to count 3.
3.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, go ahead, Mr.
Judge, the allegations are that a traffic stop was conducted and that Mr. Cooper pulled his vehicle into a parking lot. I'm sorry, the stop was initiated once the vehicle was already within the parking lot. He then allegedly attempted to flee and lost control of the vehicle while making contact with the median on the south side of the parking lot. Judge, based on that, it's unclear where in the parking lot he was to begin with, what actions were taken, the distance that had traveled, what actions were taken that would constitute an attempt to flee beyond the fact that the vehicle made contact with the median within the parking lot. I don't know. Again, he was already within that parking lot at the time that the stop was initiated, so I don't know what it's alleged that he did, that he fled or attempted to elude the law enforcement officer within the parking lot. So I would object to PC being found as to that. I don't have an objection. I'm sorry, I do have an objection as to one additional count. Counts 4 and 5 appear to be the same count, which is driving while license is suspended. They've made an allegation that his license is suspended, so I would agree that there's PC for one of them, but I don't know that there's sufficient for 2.
All right, I do agree with you as to the driving while license suspended. I'll just make a finding for one of them, and I make a probable cause finding for all the other charges. We just need to tell Mr. Cooper that he is before the court for charge 1 is grand theft auto, number 2 is resisting officer without violence, number 3 is attempting to flee or elude law enforcement, 4 and 5 are driving while license suspended, and number 6 is attaching registration license plate not assigned, number 7 is leaving the scene of a crash, and number 8 is a traffic infraction. So I find probable cause for, I'll do 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then no PC for number 5.
Thank you, Judge. As to number 3, that would be over defense objection.
Okay. All right.
Judge, in speaking to Mr. Cooper, he's not going to be able to afford to post a monetary bond. He receives disability. He gets approximately $700 per month. He's been here his whole entire life. He lives in West Palm. My understanding is he lives with his uncle. He's been residing with his uncle for the past 10 years. His uncle, from what he advised me, is retired and receives Social Security, and is not going to be able to afford to post his bond. So he's asking the court to consider releasing him under supervision.
Did I hear from the state? Does Mr. Cooper have any criminal history?
I'm pulling that up right now, Judge. This year, he had a possession of cocaine, resisting without violence out of Palm Beach. Looks like that was, he pled that out just a month ago. 2018, false name ID. 2018 battery. (2016) possession of heroin. 2016 possession of cocaine. 2011, I'm sorry, disregard, that can be disregarded. 2009 fraudulent use of personal identification information. 2008 domestic violence battery. 2008 possession of cocaine. Multiple other
Time,
priors.
I am going to leave the bonds in place. There's ROR on count 5, and then the other standard bonds are in place. Okay?
This morning.
Frank Leones,
I've been informed he bonded, Judge.
Leones bonded. Maurice Davis.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so Mr. Davis, you're before the court, charge 1 is grand theft. Number 2 is, possession of counterfeit bills. Number 3 is possession, passing forged or altered bill or promissory note. And I find probable cause for those charges.
Judge, I spoke with Mr. Davis earlier. Has his bond been posted? No.
No?
Judge, he's advised me that his bond is going to be posted if it hasn't already, so I have nothing to add.
All right, so it's gonna, standard bonds are in place.
Do you hear that, Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, Jacob Jones.
Judge, Mr. Jones is here present at Maine. He declined to serve as his public defender. He's going to hire his own attorney, Judge.
All right, Mr. Jones, just so you're clear, you understand that you're entitled to counsel at this stage of the proceedings?
I can't hear you, I'm sorry.
Do you understand that you're entitled to counsel at this time?
Counts?
All right, Mr., over at the main jail, if everybody can be quiet so that Mr. Jones can hear. All right, Mr. Jones, I'm just, you understand that you are entitled to counsel at this time?
what is that, ma'am?
Attorney, you're entitled to an
Okay,
attorney.
okay.
Do you understand
Okay.
that?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you understand that if you cannot afford an attorney, that a public defender can be appointed to represent you at this time? Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
And is it true that you do not wish to use the services of the public defender's office at this time?
Yeah, I have my private attorney. I just haven't been able to spoke to him yet because I'm in here.
Okay, all right, I just need to make sure that you understand and that that's all clear. So now I'll let you know that you are before the court today for one charge of fleeing, attempting to elude law enforcement. Number 2 is possession of THC. Number 3 is possession of cannabis 20 grams or less. Number 4 is possession of drug paraphernalia. Number 5 is possession of alcohol by person under 21 years of age. Number 6 is unlawful speed. And number 7 is open container. All right. 6 and 7 are not for magistrate, and I find probable cause as to those charges I've read. And does Mr. Jones have any criminal history?
Nancy, do you have any notes, other than the arrest this year that was dropped?
Are you gonna post your bond, Mr. Jones?
Yes, ma'am. My mom is going to.
All right, so I'll leave the standard bonds in place.
Are there any notes on this?
All right, Jamie Howard,
Jamie Howard.
Mr. Howard is approaching, Judge.
He's, no, he's,
and
yeah, but
Mr.
he's got a
Howard, you are
DOC
before the
hold.
court for one charge of grand theft. And I find probable cause.
Judge, Mr. Howard has a DOC hold, so based on that, nothing from the defense.
He's also scheduled for arraignment tomorrow morning at 8:45 before Judge Fine.
Okay, all right, so I'll leave the bond in place. All right, let's go to our misdemeanor hearing docket. And we will start with Sean Ricker.
Conti?
Conti, Your Honor.
All right. All right, Mr. Ricker, this is a 30-day motion. He was arrested July 29th. Is it? July 29th?
it's
No,
an
he's only
MO.
been in 23 days.
It's a second look, Your Honor, and
Okay,
on a MO, and
it's an MO?
yeah, yes, he was also being held on a possession of cocaine, but he's been ordered to a program, so now I guess this is the only thing holding him.
All right, so Mr. Ricker, what do you want to do with this MO matter?
From what I was told, we can handle it today, and I'd be
Okay,
out
you know what program you've been ordered to?
yeah, I'm going to drug court. Doing the Barks outpatient program.
Okay. All right, we can resolve this case today if you wish. I'll sentence you to adjudication and time served. Do you want to take care of this case here today?
Yes, please.
All right, then please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth?
Yes, Judge.
You can put your hand down. And, Mr. Ricker, is anyone forcing you to resolve your case?
No, ma'am.
Are you under the influence of drugs or alcohol?
No, ma'am.
Do you need any more time to speak with your attorney?
No, ma'am.
You understand you have the right to go to trial, but by taking a plea today, you are giving up that right?
Yes.
Have you ever been treated for mental or emotional illness?
No, ma'am.
And do you understand, sir, that if you are not a U.S. citizen, that by taking a plea today, it could subject you to deportation or immigration changes?
Yes.
What plea do you wish to enter, Mr. Ricker? Guilty or no contest?
No contest.
All right, I accept your no contest plea. I find that it's freely and voluntarily given, and your sentence is adjudication, time served. Good luck, sir.
Right, thank you very much, Judge.
All right. Wayne Curry,
Conti again, Your Honor.
okay?
Judge, Mr. Curry has private representation.
No.
I called earlier and I spoke with Helene Raceman on this case, who's the attorney. Judge, they were not aware of this hearing, but they're out of the county at the time, and they just asked that the court take no action on this. He's got other holds.
Yeah, just so as a court, Mr. Curry has an out-of-state VOP hold, so a plea on this obviously could have
Okay.
ramifications.
All right, so Mr. Curry, do you understand what has been said here today?
Yeah, but I posted bond on that misdemeanor, and I'm waiting for the next county to come get me. Do I have to sign an
No,
extradition?
I'll just tell Mr. Curry, you also have an out-of-state hold.
I'm aware. I have a
They're,
lawyer
they're
on my
not,
case, too.
they're not gonna move you to another county or another state with the out-of-state hold until this local matter is resolved. Even with the
Even if I
bonding,
posted bond?
even with that.
So you need to speak with your attorneys, okay, on this, and they are aware now that, well, they weren't aware that you were gonna come before the court today for this hearing, but they are now aware, so you need to have that conversation with them to figure out what needs to be done, okay? All right,
How was that? Last year, I had a similar situation.
Mr.
I had a VOP,
Mr. Curry, speak with your attorney, okay?
so I'm just sitting here for no reason? Pretty much?
All right, I'm going to Jim Mayhew at this time. Okay. All right, Mr. Mayhew, was arrested on August 15th.
Judge, I spoke with Mr. Mayhew, and he would like to, this is the only thing that's holding him. He would like to resolve this, if possible, today. I did advise him that I had some concerns about this unfiled case and the state's ability to prove the allegations. That said, he would like to resolve it today, which is absolutely his decision.
Okay,
Your Honor, the state's offer it'd be a withhold court cost on one, adjudication time served on two.
all right. So, Mr. Mayhew, based on your conversation with your attorney, you wish to resolve this case today, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you've heard that the offer on charge one, which is the possession of cannabis, is a withhold adjudication and court costs. And as to two, the trespassing, the offer is adjudication and time served. Do you wish to accept those offers, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you can put your hand down. And do you understand everything that we've discussed here today?
To be honest, in a certain way I do, but I ain't trying to be disrespectful, man. But on the trespassing, it say no charge, man.
The no charge just means that that's not what's holding you in custody.
Oh, okay.
And like I explained to you before, the state hasn't formally charged you with any crime. They may never charge you with a crime, but you've indicated that you want to resolve this case today, which you're able to do.
All right,
Yes, sir.
do you understand everything?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you need any more time to speak with your attorney?
No, ma'am.
Are you under the influence of drugs or alcohol?
No, ma'am.
And you understand you have the right to go to trial, but by taking a plea today, you are giving up that right.
Yes, ma'am.
And have you ever been treated for mental or emotional illness?
No, ma'am. Not really. You go through things and you get stronger.
No, I don't understand what that means. Have you ever been treated for mental or emotional illness?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And is there anything about that illness today that would prevent you from making a decision?
No, ma'am.
All right. And do you understand, sir, that if you are not a U.S. citizen, that by taking a plea today, it could subject you to deportation or immigration changes?
I'm United States bound.
Okay. What plea do you wish to enter, guilty or no contest?
No contest, ma'am.
All right, I accept your no contest plea. I find that it's freely and voluntarily given. As to charge one, your sentence is withhold adjudication and court costs. And as to two, your sentence is adjudication and time served. Good luck, sir. All right, and then on our felony docket, Michael Skinner.
I think he's also in Conti.
He's at Conti. Conti, do you have Mr. Skinner? Everything is going so well. Over at Conti, do you have Michael Skinner?
It's never good when they just walk away without saying anything.
He's going to check his notes.
Your mic's off.
Turn on your mic.
I didn't walk away. I'm checking the computer.
I was
No,
just, I
no,
was
no,
just,
no, that's okay.
I was just joking. I wasn't taking a shot at you. I promise you. I know, but I understand. I wasn't. Okay, good.
Have an arrest number? Because I don't see him in the.
Oh, all right. It's, I have MG 190000388.
I'm sorry.
No problem.
I'll call Mr. Goldberg real quick. Okay.
All right, so Michael Mobley, can we go to Mr. Mobley?
Mr. Mobley's here, Judge at Maine. Come on up, sir.
All right, Mr. Mobley was arrested on August 15th.
Yeah, it's, Your Honor, he was arrested before this, and I was just talking to Mr. Goldberg. There are some other issues going on. He was arrested July 20th for battery on a EMT, and that involved a nurse at the psychiatric ward of a hospital.
Okay.
Because of this and taking different factors into consideration, the state no-infoed that charge, and he was released August 13th. Then 2 days later, this case also involves a hospital, I believe,
All right.
and a nurse.
So this is one that,
Yeah,
believe-
before this, in 2015, he had a burglary conveyance that just ended up getting resolved March of this year because he was in and out of mental health court, ultimately resolving the case in front of Judge Fine.
I think we had that conversation when he came through the first
We
time.
did.
So, at this time, taking no action on the second look, okay? All right, Christopher Sherwood,
No problem, Your Honor.
This was the second look on a criminal mischief preventing hindering firefighters. Basically, he was destroying property at a Publix. Then he went after the fire extinguisher.
Judge, I spoke with Mr. Sherwood. This case is not filed. He unfortunately is homeless and is asking the court to release him on his own recognizance or in the alternative, place him on standard pretrial. He is living down in Hollandale. He does have some health issues that he discussed with me. He is not working. He receives disability. He does not have family that's going to be able to help him with this, and he is not going to be able to afford the $2,500. I didn't see the PC, but he described as the state said that there was an incident at the Publix. I guess he had knocked something over. I don't know the last time he's been in trouble with the law, but I didn't see.
I think, Mr. Sherwood was one of those that I had concerns, and, that something more needs to be done. At the second look, I am going to, take no action. I'm gonna deny the ROR at this time. Okay? And then, we have Cottrell Williams.
Speaking forward. He bonded.
Mr. Williams bonded?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Sherwood, you're gonna speak with your attorney a little bit more on what needs to be done on your case, okay? All right, and Mr. Williams bonded, okay?
Your Honor, Mr. Skinner's on his way. Here shortly.
All righty. Thank you.
Was it? No. You're way off.
I guess I can start signing while we're waiting for Mr. Skinner.
No, I didn't, I.
No, Williams bonded.
Oh, can I get like Skinner then?
No, Adam had it.
Oh,
Just Skinner.
I don't know where you have. Oh, okay. All right, thank you. All right, so Mr. Skinner, you were placed on the docket for a second look at your bond status.
This is a motion release, Judge.
It's a 30-day motion. He was
Yes.
arrested July 18th. Has the
Yes.
motion, has the information been filed?
Yes, Your Honor, the information was filed on Friday. The charges filed were 2 counts of burglary, and the third count was charged as an attempt.
All right, so Mr. Skinner, just for your information, the state has formally filed the charges. As you heard, 2 charges of burglary and then the third of attempted burglary. Okay, so you should be going before your division judge for arraignment shortly, okay?
August 26th.
All right, okay, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sorry about that, Your Honor.
No, Deputy, thank you, I understand.
All right. Okay, thank you. Bye.
All right. All right, thanks, everyone.